Behind the stage.
Barbarella. Marquess, same audacity and originality, fantasy, humor, beauty, and horror, cruelty, eroticism. Oh, God! You got your Zardoz on my Barbarella.
You got your Barbarella and my Zardoz.
Barbarella is marked by the same audacity and originality, fantasy, humor, beauty, and horror, cruelty, and eroticism that make comic books such a favorite.
That's a long sentence.
That was all one sentence. The setting is the planet Lithion in the year 40,000, when Barbarella, Jane Fonda, makes a forced landing while traveling through space. It's not the only thing that'll make a forced landing, I bet. She acts like a female James Bond, vanquishing evil in the forms of robots and monsters. She also rewards, in an uninhibited manner, the handsome men who assist her in the adventure. Whether she is wrestling with blackguards, the evil queen, or the angel Pygar, she just can't seem to avoid losing at least part of her skin-tight spacesuit.
Blackguards? Why does it specify blackguards?
I guess we'll find out. It capitalizes blackguards, but not evil queen.
Zardoz. In 2293, Zardoz rules. Sean Connery delivers a powerful performance in this fantastic vision of a future world divided into two societies. The Vortex is an isolated, heavily guarded, lush community of immortal scientists and intellectuals called the Eternals. Outside the Vortex lies a desolate world laid to waste by war and pollution, peopled by the Brutals, primitive savages and killers who worship the fearsome god Zardoz.
Zardoz, your god.
For years, these two opposite groups remain in delicate balance, until Zed, Connery, a superior. What the hell's a superior? He doesn't say what that is. A superior, quick-witted brutal. Brutal is capitalized, by the way. Finds his way into the Vortex. This jolting clash between brute nature and pure intellect sets the Society of the Eternals on an entirely new course and opens the way for a more balanced world to follow. Co-starring Charlotte Rampling, Zardoz, in all capital letters, is an entertaining adventure praised for its special effects and imaginative vision. That sounds horrible.
What do we do with these?
What about that?
We could stick one of these in there.
Yeah.
How does this thing work?
I think you just
stick it in.
Now what?
Whoa, what's happening?
Whoa! Whoa!
Where are we?
How did we get here?
Oh my god! Did we get sucked into the
VCR?
Oh my god! What do we do now?
I don't know, I guess we watch?
Well, now I mean it's playing, so...
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to do.
We might as well watch whatever it was that we just put in.
Zardoz?
That sounds good.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's watch it.
Let's see what happens.
Let's do this.
Alright. Zardoz is a swashbuckling, psychedelic sex romp, starring Sean Connery as Zed, Charlotte Rampling as Consuela, and a bear in lederhosen as Sean's body double. Zardoz is the tale of one man's journey to find love. Along the way, he'll discover the truth, that only one thing can save the world, his penis. Zardoz, 102 minutes, directed by John Borman, released in 1974.
And he's gone. What the fuck?
Penis is evil. The penis shoots seeds and makes new life to poison the earth with a plague of man, as once it was.
That's good.
And Zardoz, your god, gave you the gift of the...
What is that?
Oh my god!
It's the same
I don't know.
shot!
pass and passage into the vortex.
You know how we can save money? Instead of filming her
Show you how
walking,
you
we'll
come
just
to be here.
do a close-up shot and just do it over and over and over again, so it looks like
Whoa, that sure was a good movie.
Oh yeah.
That was really something.
That was great. Wish I could have that hour and a half of my life.
You know what? Instead of getting that hour and a half of your life back, we could just watch the next movie. Because it's auto-playing anyway. Like, what are we gonna do? We're trapped here.
Yeah, fuck it. We're just going out of here.
Let's just watch Barbarella.
Alright. Barbarella is a swashbuckling psychedelic sex romp in space, starring Jane Fonda as the eponymous Barbarella, John Philip Law as the angel Pygar, and the world's most famous mime in a speaking role. Barbarella is the tale of one woman's journey to find love. Along the way, she'll discover the truth, that her pussy is the only thing that can save the world. Barbarella, 98 minutes, directed by Roger Vadim, released in 1968.
Child. The Matmos? And in return it gives us warmth.
Always in the Matmos.
Oh my god! Whoa!
Boom, baby!
Set phasers to explode, yo!
Tasting
Oh my god!
Was he wearing a costume and another costume underneath? No! That was just his chest. Oh my god! A bear in layers. Remember the scene where his body double slides down the hill? Like,
Yeah!
destroyed
He like
their legs.
runs down the
Yes.
hill. Remember the scene where the guy gets run over by the horse on the
Yes,
beach?
those poor stuntmen need raises.
Those post horses.
Horses.
Horses. Ah!
Try not to laugh.
Don't laugh, you'll ruin the take.
We can just edit this out, right?
Yeah, well, it's fine, don't worry about it. I'm gonna ask you 2 trivia questions.
Okay.
The first one is, name one thing you know about Jane Fonda.
I know she's an actress.
Are you typical of Earth women?
I'm about average.
Moving on. Number 2, what does the name Zardoz come from?
Oh! Wizard of Oz.
Ah! You remembered!
Let me see, because in the movie, he's looking at the Wizard of Oz and he like puts his hands on it and it spells Zardoz.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Wizar Zar of Dawes. Zardoz. So they just, yeah. I got one.
You did it! Point 1. I wanted to show you Zardoz because I think Zardoz is something that should be inflicted on everyone that likes movies.
Oh. I don't know if I agree with that.
It was singular though. You've never seen
I've
anything
never
like
seen
it,
anything
right?
like Zardoz. I will never, ever again see anything like Zardoz because I will never watch it again.
I never want to see
But,
anything like that
we
again.
will get into that.
That's why I say I inflicted it upon you. And then I was looking at pairings for Zardoz, and I because I couldn't think of anything, right? I'm like, Zardoz is so singular and so weird. And all of the things suggested for pairing were also like Zardoz level, highbrow, sci-fi, really like art house, weird, exhausting shit.
Yeah.
And I watched trailers for a few of them, and just like, nope,
Okay.
nope.
Okay.
So I picked Barbarella to pair with Zardoz because I thought it would be a nice piece of kind of like fluffy.
I mean,
compared
and
to
they're I guess they're similar in the way that they're both sci-fi. Like, I can't remember if Zardoz is set on planet Earth.
I think it is.
It is?
I think it's set on planet Earth in, I want to say, the year 2293.
You got it, baby. Ooh.
Did I?
You did.
Is it?
It says in 2293, Zardoz rules.
We watched both of these movies as a nice double feature and also as a versus each other so that we can kind of compare and contrast them. One of them is considered a highbrow, cerebral, sci-fi, thinking man's sci-fi.
I like that.
One of them is considered a platform for a sex kitten's sex romp in space.
When I was described that movie, I thought it was going to be light and fun and sexy and great. And it was funny. It was a good movie, but it was not light. It was very strange. We'll just put it that way. And
we see a lot of Sean Connery stuff.
There is scenes in Zardoz.
There
which
are.
Is really unfortunate. That was not pleasant to watch. You don't ever see them having sex or anything, but you know that that's what's happening.
How do you know in Barbarella that that's what's happening?
Because whenever, after she has sex, she lays back and she and she's completely naked, like, yep.
It's just it's like this.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Definitely a still of like right after she has sex with one of them.
Yep. That is not a PG movie. Please do not let your children watch Barbarella.
Oh my god.
Not saying it's a bad movie,
your
but
kid
it's not
comes up
for
and they're like,
kids.
"Can I watch this?"
Yeah, it's
PG. It should be fine.
And we
Can
talked
you
about
imagine?
that. No, I can't. We talked about that because it's 1968, so they obviously had different rules
It was
back
a different
then.
time.
It was a different time. It should be at least PG-13.
I love to see them running. I love the moment of their death when I am one with Zardoz.
There was a lot of stunts in Zardoz.
And there's a lot of action.
There's a lot of action.
The saving grace
dudes
of
on
that
horses
movie.
with rifles, with masks on their
Full-on
heads,
mask.
wearing red lederhosen and thigh-high boots and nothing else. It's very homoerotic. Both of them feature a sex kitten as their main protagonist. Sean Connery. Definitely, there's a lot of male gaze happening in Zardoz.
A man can absolutely be a sex kitten. He's got the fur to prove
That's
it.
what it should say on the box. A man can absolutely be a sex kitten or a sex bear.
That's all you need to know about this. A sex bear. I like that.
A society that has become sexless and needs Sean Connery's penis to restore them.
I mean, it's funny, but it's true. That's basically what
That is what that movie is about.
Yes.
And Sean Connery does save the world with his penis.
He does. There's multiple times where it brings it up that that's the overlying theme of sex.
The same thing with Barbarella. She overcomes all of her obstacles by having sex with the obstacle.
There's this one guy, this guy saves her. To repay him, he says, I want to make love to you.
I mean, if there's anything you need or that I can do, please tell me.
Well, you could let me make love to you.
And she goes like this, okay, I got the pills. And she says in the future that they take these pills and they touch their hands together like this.
I don't want to do this.
We are comfortable. I'm not comfortable right now. Do this. Essay. You can do it from afar. That's how they have sex. And then I think it's implied that she's never actually had sex in a physical sense before.
Yeah, definitely. Because in the beginning of the movie, she's totally just naive and very like, oh, I don't want more. Of course I'll help find Duran Duran.
Yeah. So it's implied that she's never physically had sex, and then she finally does and realizes that, as the guy says, the first guy she has sex with, as he says, the old ways are the best.
That in some things, the old-fashioned ways are best after all.
So, and then that leads into the rest of the movie where it's just about sex.
Where now, from this point on in Barbarella, when she runs into an obstacle or she needs to repay someone or she needs to help someone gain their confidence back, sex.
Which we're not saying that that's a bad thing, like,
It's
more
very
power
sex
to her.
positive.
Exactly.
A, it was written by men. B, it was directed by a man.
Yeah.
C, it was directed by the guy she was married to. She's not there as a character and she's not there as a protagonist. She's there as a sex symbol.
Yeah.
You know,
So
she really doesn't have to do anything.
yeah, she doesn't have a lot of power or authority over herself.
Can we talk about the fact that she goes through 6 outfit changes? Because she changes her outfit every time she has sex. So
Yeah,
she's
because
in
it somehow gets destroyed every time. Every time she has sex, her outfit is destroyed.
I feel like they maybe even say something. Oh, it's a shame that your pants got
They
torn.
do every
don't they?
time. Yeah, the first time he's like, "Oh, it's a shame you're." Oh, because he saved her because she was getting attacked by dolls. Remember?
The dolls
and they
with the
ripped
teeth.
her. Yeah, the dolls with teeth,
dolls
and they
with the
ripped
sharp
her
teeth.
outfit.
Because
Completely
she
destroyed her
She
outfit.
crash lands on the planet Lithion after she gets the call from the president of Earth.
Find Durand.
She is taken captive by children who
Yes.
apparently just run feral on Lithion. And then the children release these dolls with really scary, like sharp jaws teeth. They're really creepy. I
They
would
are
love to
creepy.
see those used in a horror movie.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And this guy saves her, who is a kid catcher. But so she has sex with this guy, and it's her sexual awakening. She has gone from nubile, innocent, naive, beautiful, voluptuous virgin to turned on, switched on sex goddess.
Yes.
Was this the really furry guy, or was it a different guy?
Yes.
It was this guy. He took off his shirt, and it was like he was wearing a fur vest.
Yes. Like he was. It was funny because he was wearing a jacket that was really furry.
That was like a
and
bear
he takes
costume.
it off, and it is more fur. Like he looked like a wolf.
He looked like he was wearing the bear costume from Workaholics.
You guys ready to get weird tonight or what? For sure.
Yeah, fixes her ship because she tries to take off and she immediately crash lands and goes through the planet's surface into the interior of the planet.
Yeah.
There she meets the angel Pygar, who is a blind angel.
Yes.
And he looks like Rocky from Rocky
He
IV.
looks exactly like Rocky.
He does, right?
Blonde hair, like toned
But
tan
he's blind, and apparently that affects his emotional output as well. Because he just kind of has one face for the entire movie, and he
That's
doesn't
true.
have a lot of tone or emotion in his voice.
The best thing about Pygar is that he can't fly. He's lost the will to fly.
He just doesn't.
And there's only one way to fix the will to fly.
Maybe Jane Fonda could help you find the will to fly. Well, so before she helps him find the will to fly again, he introduces her to Professor Ping.
Yes.
And they're in this kind of labyrinth warren, and this is where all of the cast-offs from the planet go to live out their days.
Yeah, they're like, they have to stay in the labyrinth. If they leave, they're gonna
Yeah.
get killed. So there's all these just ragtag group of people, including
Yeah.
Professor Ping in the labyrinth. And I think Professor Ping is who she needs to talk to fix her ship or something.
Yeah, because Professor Ping can help her fix her ship, but she also discovers that Duran is here too.
Yes.
He's in the headquarters of the Dark Queen,
Yes.
who runs the Matmos, which is the weird substance that is powered on evil thoughts and shit like that.
Which is
That
basically
powers
presents
the
itself
labyrinth.
as like a lake.
So she helps Pygar regain his will to fly.
By having sex in his bird nest. Because for some reason, he lives in a bird's nest.
Why wouldn't he? He's an angel. They live in bird nests.
Well, they sneak into the castle or whatever, and they get separated, and he gets captured, and then she has to save him.
They try to escape, but they're stopped by the Black Queen's concierge.
Yes. Can't remember his name.
I think he's just the concierge.
Yeah.
He captures Jane Fonda and puts her in his pleasure machine.
Which, how the hell would you describe this thing? It's like
a piano.
It's like a
It's like he's
piano.
playing the piano, and it's kind of doing this undulating, rolling wave thing, and Jane Fonda is in it. You know, so you can only see like this part of her. But he puts her into his pleasure machine to torture her with pleasure
to death.
And
he is getting off on
his hair is getting
and he is
crazy,
like
he's just
sweating.
He's going
and, like,
at this.
He's
thing.
playing the piano.
And it starts smoking, and Barbarella's just in the machine, just and then the machine lights on fire because it can't keep up with Barbarella because she outpaced the pleasure machine and she literally broke it because it couldn't keep up with her because now she is the perfect woman.
Yes.
So
Someone argued that that's not a perfect woman. It takes too much. So then he gets super mad at her and he locks her in this cage, the bird cage. And they let in a whole bunch of parakeets and they just start pecking at her.
It was almost a spit take. And that's potentially the weirdest part of this movie is the bird cage.
It was very strange. Like, it was weird that they used parakeets. Like,
how many birds died for the filming of that scene? Because they filmed this in Italy. Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure they filmed this in Italy, so I don't think they gave a shit how many birds died.
There were no credits, so we have no idea if any birds were harmed in the production of this.
Pretty sure that hundreds of birds
There
died.
were a lot of parakeets.
Yeah, we definitely see poop in her hair at one point.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom of the cage opens, and she falls through into a chute.
Into this guy's room? Headquarters? Something?
And this guy is,
Dildano!
Dildano!
Yeah!
Dildano!
The best name!
I'm Dildano, head of the revolutionary forces.
Dildano! Dildano's here, yay!
And Dildano does the same thing again. He says, "Oh boy, this is great, and I rescued you, and I'm so glad you're here." And Barbarella says, "Is there some way I can repay you? Maybe we could have sex?" And he says, "Yeah, great, let me get the pills!"
And she's all like, "Oh, no, I mean, like, I don't want to... I think we should do it the old way. I mean, it's pretty, like, I don't want to shit on your traditions."
No, not like that. Like on Earth, on Earth, the pill. I have the pill.
And he is so excited to try the pill with someone because he'd never done it before.
He's had it for 5 years.
Yep.
He's been waiting for this opportunity.
Yep.
And so they do it. They take the pills, and then they put their hands up to each other. Don't touch me. They put their hands up to each other. And it's like a weirdly intimate scene.
It was. All of a sudden they like lock eyes
and they're kind of shaking.
It was...
And somebody else walks in and talks to them, and they're just completely...
That was the most intimate scene of the whole movie.
It definitely was because
very
you know that we're watching them have sex.
And their hair starts to like get frizzy, and they're like...
Yeah.
They're like moving.
It's intense.
It was intense.
They did a great job with that scene.
I agree. We forgot. She gets a key from Dildano.
Oh my god, the invisible
key to the Black Queen's Chamber of Dreams, where she sleeps, and that's the only time she's vulnerable is in her Chamber of Dreams.
I'll give you a key to the Queen's Chamber of Dreams.
Right? It's very...
It's invisible.
The word for that.
Stupid.
Yes. Not the word.
Convoluted.
No.
Over the top.
Like when you...
Overwrought.
No, stop it! When you are like using something to mean something else, like saying like I'll give you the key, like there's a word for what that
It's like an
means.
analogy.
Analogy, that's what it is. Thank you. It's like
what's an analogy for?
Penis.
Whose penis?
Everybody's.
Zed's.
No, we're not too...
That's an analogy.
See, that's how they connect. Penis.
Invisible key means penis. We need a whiteboard. No. Invisible key equals penis.
I'm gonna have to edit all of this out.
Oh, will we?
Okay, so she gets the invisible key from Dildano. So now she's ready to take on
the
the queen.
Just you saying that.
Just out of context. Yeah. You just start the video off like that.
She gets the invisible key from Dildano. And that's the key that goes to the Black Queen's Chamber of Dreams, where the angel Pyguar has to take her into the Chamber of Dreams.
Yes.
So that she can escape
and take down the Black Queen. It's not even Pygar who takes her there, it's the concierge.
And it's revealed that he is Duran Duran.
Yeah.
He's the scientist man who she has been searching for this whole time.
Yep.
He's basically gone mad down here.
So she gets locked, he locks her in the Chamber of Dreams with the Black Queen, and there's no way out.
And there's 2 people in there, and that is apparently going to fudge everything out because the Matmos will destroy them if there's 2 people in the Chamber of Dreams.
Is that what it was?
I don't remember. It was kind of poorly executed, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the part of the movie where there's a lot of Jane Fonda just standing in a room, kind of lamenting that she's stuck in this room, while we have this weird Matmos FX going on around her.
Once again, someone else saves her. She doesn't save herself.
Pygar saves her.
Yeah. I think the Black Queen like pulls a lever or something and releases the Matmos.
Pygar flies her and the Black Queen out
Oh yeah.
in this really long sequence of him flying and holding them.
And then the last thing she says in the movie is she looks at Pygar and says, "Pygar, why are you rescuing her after the horrible things she did to you?" And he says, "An angel doesn't remember."
Pygar? What did you save her for after all the terrible things she's done to you?
An angel has no memory.
And the movie ends. Cut, black, that's it.
That's it.
That's how the movie ends. An
Oh,
angel doesn't remember, Stan.
Butterflies have no time for such things. We'll have to get me some angel poon.
Some angel poon.
The opening credits were really hard to read.
Well, because the opening credits are during that sequence where she's in the astronaut suit and she's taking it off slowly.
Yeah.
And that sequence is a really famous piece of cinema.
It was really awkward, like slow.
See, when that came out though, that was super provocative.
Okay.
And erotic.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I think the way that they filmed it is that she's laying on a piece of plexiglass and the camera's looking straight down at her and she's just kind of spinning around doing stuff. And so when they turn it, it makes it look like she's floating.
Okay, that makes sense.
What are you doing? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
It's just us.
Hello.
So I feel like I kind of talked a lot about Barbarella. Do you want to tell us about Zardoz?
I have to. Zardoz.
It's kind of a dick move making you tell me about Zardoz.
Zardoz was extremely confusing.
It starts out with a floating stone head moving through the sky and a bunch of people in...
It looked like
You can't even see
Lederhosen. Like Lederhosen. Like,
Yeah.
like if Lederhosen were diapers and then bandoliers with ammo in them.
That's perfect. And they're orange.
Thigh-high boots.
So they're wearing those and they're wearing a full head mask and they're riding around on horses doing something.
With rifles.
With rifles. And they're shooting people. They're just shooting random people. And then this head thing comes down to earth and everyone starts to bow down to it and say, Zardoz, Zardoz.
Actually, something that happens before that. Zardoz himself, this is what happens first. He comes on screen and talks a bunch of nonsense about something. I don't know what he's even talking about.
What do you mean when you say he comes on screen?
He comes on screen. No, he doesn't.
It's just his head, and he's got a Sharpie goatee. It's literally drawn on with Sharpie, and a Sharpie mustache. And he's talking about something, I don't know what he was talking about. It didn't make any sense.
So we're led to understand that he's Zardoz.
Flash forward to these people bowing down to this stone head thing.
The gun is good. The gun is good. The penis is evil. The penis shoots seeds and makes new life to poison the earth with a plague of men.
It goes forward and the head's up in the sky and then we see Sean Connery and he pops out of a pile of sand.
And then it pukes out just like handfuls of rifles.
Like
and
it looks like
just
someone's just throwing them.
So then there's that. Already, not even 5 minutes in, I have 8 million questions about this movie.
You just don't get it. It's a really highbrow movie. It's really cerebral. You probably wouldn't get it.
I'm gonna say this one time. We are both very intelligent people. We don't get it. That's okay. You don't have to understand it.
Kiss the bride.
Good thing we can edit this out.
Okay.
What's wrong? Are you having a hard time explaining Zardoz?
My brain is trying not to implode.
I feel like you need psychedelic assistance to get anything out of Zardoz.
Maybe that's why we don't understand it, is because you need to be on mushrooms or acid, and it would make more sense.
Zed, who is our main character, he hasn't said a word by this point.
Somebody pops up behind him and he just shoots. Doesn't even ask questions, he just shoots this person and it's Zardoz.
And he falls out of Zardoz.
He does. He very
Out of the
comically
head.
falls out. And he just kind of goes like this and slowly goes out of the screen.
Or like, is he dead? Did he float away?
Presumably so, because he obviously fell out of the head, which was up in the sky. Like,
Because we see it, going across the countryside. It's way up there.
Doing whatever floating stone heads do.
When they're not distributing guns and propaganda.
Yes. So then the stone head crashes or lands somewhere, and Zed gets out, and he's poking around this like village-looking thing that looks like it's abandoned. It looks like nobody is there.
There's nobody there.
And he's just poking around and he's looking for things.
There's like a flour mill that he goes through.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some farm animals and stuff.
And then above the flour mill, he finds like presumably someone's bedroom or someone's laboratory or something. Oh, motherfucker. We didn't get ring pops! We're gonna get ring pops for this segment. He finds this...
Don't you have a ring you can use? Hello?
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 Please tell me what I am looking at right now. Hello?
A big jumble of nonsense.
What is it?
I think that might be the first time Sean Connery speaks.
Because he finds the ring in this laboratory and he puts it on, and it's basically like the future of smartwatch.
Yeah.
Right? Like he can talk into it.
But it's just a ring that looks like a ring pop.
It looks like a ring pop, yeah, and they all have them.
Yes. He's called
and
a
he's
brute.
immortal. The Brutals die.
Yes, and the Eternals are immortal.
Yes.
Which it does not explain. You just kind of figure this out.
And impotent.
Impotent. Because sex is bad, or...
They just lost the need to have sex because they don't need to procreate, so...
I thought it created, like, they didn't want to create more man.
Well, they don't need to
men are
procreate.
bad.
They don't need to procreate anymore because
they live forever?
In the end of the movie, it's revealed to us that the Eternals are a handful of people that were chosen to steward all of the knowledge of humanity. And so they just live in this capsule of some kind where they live forever and steward all that knowledge.
Yeah. Because without sex, what is the reason
What
for
is
life?
the meaning of life?
Okay, so...
Barbarella discovered the meaning of life.
Many times. We meet some of these Eternals and they like take him captive and they decide that they want to study him because I don't think that they've ever been that close to a brutal before because they live in this protected
they also
area.
want to kind of use him like a slave.
Yeah. He doesn't like fight them or try to escape. He just kind of does what they say and just goes along for the ride. There's this wonderful scene where they have him laid out on a table and he is man-spreading. And the only thing that would have made this better is if the camera was aimed from his crotch up.
Straight up.
But it's aimed like this and he's just kind of spread eagle on the table and they're looking at his memories.
And he's in his diaper.
Yeah.
And his fur vest.
So they see memories of him killing people because for some reason Brutals just go and kill people. They just kill anyone they see. They'll ride around on their horses.
Yeah,
and
they ride
shoot
around on
people.
their horses.
They see memories of him. He's fully clothed, but I mean, it's obvious that that's what's happening.
And it's almost like Charlotte Rampling and her assistant watching this. They're fascinated by this because they've never seen masculine vigor.
Yeah.
They've never seen a penis in action.
It's very strange. Like all of them, including the men, they like constantly touch him and like touch his chest and his shoulders, and they're like all over him, which is strange because they don't have sex. So they obviously have the desire to.
They're curious about it.
Yeah.
But their men are impotent. They can't get that.
They have a wonderful picture of a penis that's not erect. And they say, how does it go from this to this?
I'll show you how it goes from this to this.
So they test it out on Zed, and they show him different erotic images to try to see what gives him an erection.
Yeah.
And it's really funny and awkward, and nothing gives him an erection until he looks at Consuela. I don't want to look at you.
Because they're showing it on a monitor.
Yeah.
And nothing's happening, and she's the one showing them. And then he turns and he looks at her, and everyone in the crowd is like, oh!
So apparently he gets an erection because he's looking at her.
We don't know though because we don't see it. We
No.
just see him from like waist up, and we just we're to assume that he has a massive erection.
Yes.
I wish we could have seen that.
That would have been. I was waiting for it. I thought the camera was going to pan down.
It should have.
It should have.
I'm going to make the argument that there is not enough erect penis on camera in this movie.
Well, it says that he goes there and it opens the way for a more balanced world to follow.
Okay, but do you know what that means? Do you remember how the movie ends? A more balanced world to follow. Opens the way for a more balanced world to follow.
The movie ends, spoilers, the movie ends with him in a cave and he has sex with Consuela and they have a child and it's just an image of him sitting, her sitting, their child in between. It's an image of the child growing up and then growing older and the child leaves when he gets old enough and then they turn into skeletons.
Mm-hmm. So the opening up the world for a better tomorrow, or whatever that said, is literally him impregnating one or multiple of the Eternals. I'm not really sure how many he impregnated.
It presumably is just one, because they just sit in the cave and die after they have sex.
Forever. They just sit there forever.
They turn into skeletons.
But now they can procreate, and now there are children again, so he has changed the world.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
But he goes through and he finds out that there's different, like, castes of society here. There's the apathetics.
Yeah, which are, like, zombies.
They just lost the will to live, and so the Eternals grow wheat to make bread to feed them.
Yes,
That's the whole thing that they do. That's all that they do.
The apathetics and the olds.
The olds.
What are the olds called?
The olds.
They have a name for the olds.
But because to punish each other, they use psychic energy to age one another.
Oh,
as punishment.
That's true. That happens to Friend because he doesn't want to.
He doesn't agree.
He doesn't agree, doesn't want to go to level 2, whatever level 2 is. It's never explained.
Because he doesn't want to keep cleaning up after himself. He's tired of it. So he throws that cup.
Yeah.
He says, I don't want to keep cleaning up. I'm tired of being tidy. I've had 260 years of being tidy.
And then they
age.
They all... They literally do this to him until he becomes an old. It's very awkward and strange and
Sean Connery just watches this whole interchange.
Oh yeah.
When they age Friend.
Oh yeah.
And then Friend becomes one of the olds, and apparently when you become an old, you also turn feral, and you spend all of your time in a country kitchen buffet.
In
dancing.
nice, fine,
In
formal
nice,
wear,
fine
dancing.
clothes.
It's very strange. And then there's the apathetics who are just in a barn, standing all around all day.
Until Sean Connery wakes them up
by essaying them.
Kind of like Barbarella restored Pygar's will to live. Sean
With
Connery restores the
penis.
apathetics will to
He
live.
does! He literally
Penis.
does! That's what saves the apathetics.
I feel like both of these movies imagine a future where sex has become pointless and people aren't even capable of sex anymore. And if they do anything close to sex, it's just some weird pills in hand.
Yeah.
And then you have a hero who comes along and reintroduces the world to the amazingness that is sex. And that is the only reason that we have for living, is because if you can't have sex and violence, why are you even alive? You might as well be an apathetic or a blind angel.
That makes sense. The difference being that in Barbarella, they could have done it differently to where she was empowered. It didn't feel like she was saving the world with sex. It felt like people were using her
Does
for
it
sex.
feel like Zed is...
It feels like
saving the
he
world
is
with
saving
sex?
the world with sex. Like I said, like in Barbarella, she never saves herself. A man always has to save her, and Zed constantly saves himself and others.
Help! 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 This is really much too poetic a way to die.
Well, because everybody else in Zardoz is so milquetoast. They don't do a lot, except for Zardoz, Arthur Frayne, who Zed learns over the course of his time in the Elite's compound that Zardoz is... There's this whole fucking backstory that Zardoz is the one that introduced Zed to the book, The Wizard of Oz.
Into reading in general.
Because we learned that Zed read the entire library that he could find and is a smart brutal, and then we learned that Arthur Frayne, Zardoz, did that on purpose because he has been eugenically breeding brutals to be special and smart for generations, and he's also using them to control the brutal population by making them kill other brutals. And that Zardoz is the end result of his eugenics breeding program. Now, is any of this executed in a way that is understandable to the viewer?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
The whole compound blows up at the end. And he...
Does it blow up?
There's a lot of scenes of him stuck in a condom, getting attacked by all of the
That's
people.
true, and then he pops the condom.
And that's really kind of uncomfortable because the whole time that he's stuck in this condom, you're just thinking about him suffocating.
Yeah, because it seems like he's in
there
it's
for
getting
a long time.
smaller and smaller on him.
There's
Stuntman gets run over by a horse.
There's a lot of cool stunts in Zardoz.
The one stuntman, Sean Connery's stuntman, runs down a hill, a really steep hill, and he like slides down. I guarantee his legs got cut up and bruised from that.
Why are
Like,
his legs cut up and bruised though?
because he ran down a hill.
In a diaper and thigh-high boots.
That's what they have to wear in this time for reasons unknown.
Most of this movie, most of Zardoz is spent with Sean Connery in a diaper and thigh-high boots and a bandolier.
And it never explains why. Why are they dressed like this?
Why would he be in the movie if not so that we can gaze upon his luscious chest pubes? Remember in the end of the movie, Zed takes in all of the knowledge that the Eternals have been safeguarding, and
that's
he
true.
becomes
Something.
everything that can be.
Yeah.
He becomes something.
And he uses that knowledge to
Impregnate some bitches.
one bitch, and he dies in a cave.
You wouldn't get it. It's really cerebral. I thought Zardoz cinematically was really cool because they do a lot of really cool shots.
They do that in Barbarella too.
They do more in Zardoz though, because
Yeah.
in Zardoz they do the whole thing where he puts his hand up and you can see the projection on his hand and it's the eye. And then he looks at it on his head, you know, with the ring, because the ring projects.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really cool filmmaking like that.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anywhere else. Remember when she gets the voice box on her hand and she says, "Wait, let me adjust my voice box."
And she says it multiple times, and she like has to turn this thing, and it's like a
what does she call it? It's not a voice box. It's like it's a really awkward name that she has for her little wrist translator thing. Tongue box.
tongue box. Yeah, of course. But it basically like
I'll show you my tongue box.
It translates languages. It's like a Google translator. app.
on her hand.
Better adjust my tongue box.
And I hate to say that I liked something about Zardoz because I will never watch this movie again. I really appreciated the stunt work in this movie.
Not so much in Barbarella.
Not really. There wasn't a lot of action in Barbarella.
You
There's
don't
a lot of
count
green
the
screens.
scenes where Pygar is flying with her.
And there's definitely not a green screen. They're just like, look over there, Pygar, go that way.
Pygar, why are you flying so low? Pygar, wake up!
So the action in Zardoz was very good. And there's a lot of comedy in Barbarella. There was one point where she was wearing a fursuit with a really long tail, and
That's
she
right, the
she
skunk
trips
suit.
over her tail and just so dramatically falls and rolls around, and it was really
I will say, Jane Fonda is great in Barbarella.
She did a really good
She's
job.
hilarious.
She reminded me of
sincere.
Elvira, like a
Yes.
sex kitten that's also really funny and like over the top. Like she did a great job.
That? But nobody's done that for centuries.
The rest of the movie, by comparison, sucked.
Yes.
She did great.
She saved that movie.
I don't know if I can say the same thing about Sean Connery.
Like he's an
there.
amazing actor, but like
He's there.
I think that this is a role that he shouldn't have been in. Like
Here's the thing. So, Sean Connery played James Bond.
Yes.
From like the early 60s into the early 70s. He was in 6 James Bond movies.
Oh my god.
Like the big ones. He was in Dr. No, he was in Diamonds Are Forever, From Russia with Love.
From Russia with the Love Bone, you know what I'm saying?
And he has a really hard time finding work after
And
James
then
Bond
he
is
did
over.
this. I don't want to say anything mean about Sean Connery because he's an amazing actor, but I'm surprised this didn't ruin his career.
He went from James Bond to
this.
Zardoz.
Like
Hard times.
It's not his fault. It was just a role that he
Desperate
shouldn't have been
measures.
cast in.
He was a
like-
single mother just trying to raise his kids.
Exactly. Like it
With a
should have
drug
just
addiction.
been. It should have just been a nobody in this movie, and I feel bad that he had to be in this at all.
You know who it almost was? Burt Reynolds. I don't think there's any humor in Zardoz, is there? There's nothing in it that is like
No, there's
self-aware
nothing
or
that's supposed to
ironic
be
or
funny.
schlocky.
And Barbarella is the opposite of that. Like I feel like there were a lot of moments you were supposed to laugh
Yes,
at it.
Barbarella was definitely schlocky.
Again, it was like Elvira, like you're supposed to laugh at how ditzy and bimbo-y she is.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny.
Yeah. Which, it's a shame that it's not a more entertaining movie for that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of parts of Barbarella where it's really boring.
Yeah.
Or it's just really psychedelic trippy and boring.
Mm-hmm. They both were very psychedelically trippy.
Yes.
Like, there was very... I don't want to say creepy. Creepy's not the word. There was very strange imagery in both of these movies. It was like that scene in Willy Wonka where they're going through the tunnel.
Yes.
And it's like an acid trip.
Both of these movies feel like that. It
Yes.
feels like an hour and 40 minutes of that scene.
Yes. Very strange. And at least Barbarella had some moments where there was comedic relief.
Yeah.
And you could get out of that headspace.
So in that sense,
Zardoz,
it is lighter.
Yes, it is.
It
That's
is
true.
lighter in that sense.
Zardoz, you did not get out of the headspace. It was very heavy. Like, it was hard to watch at times just because there was so much going on and it was heavy. Like, at least Barbarella was funny.
So I can see why people say that Zardoz is a cerebral, highbrow sci-fi.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can see why people say that Barbarella is, you know, it's a sex kitten.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
in the end, I do feel that both of these movies have the same basic message and premise, which is that the future is sexless and we need a hero to bring it sex.
Yes. I mean, I'm not gonna disagree.
I'm not gonna disagree
with that.
I'm gonna disagree. I mean, it's not like they're not saving the world with guns or with violence. They're saving the world with
love,
sex
and love. Like, it's very 60s, 70s hippie. Like, like it's a. I guess that's a good message.
Best part of Barbarella. Go.
Oh god. The outfits. I think that was the best part. I really appreciated the costume design and the number of times she changed outfits. I thought it was funny that it was like you knew she had had sex because she changed her outfit. I think that was the best part.
I think for me the best part was the pleasure machine. Okay. So for me the best part is Jane Fonda.
Yeah. She was
but
wonderful.
then it's the pleasure machine. Okay. That she outpaces, that she beats.
That's hot. That's hot. That is hot.
That's hot.
Worst part of Barbarella. Go.
Green screen. Especially when Pygar
So
is
awkward.
flying and carrying her and he's just like...
When he's carrying her and the Black Queen.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going. I think the worst thing for me in Barbarella was the extended sequences of Barbarella walking around looking at the Matmos towards the end of the movie.
Okay.
It was so boring.
That's true, and it went on for so long.
I can't stand it in movies, especially towards the end when we're supposed to be building tension, and the tension that they've been building just drops off because we have a scene of a character just standing in a room looking at stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's so boring. Best part of Zardoz. You're not
Can
allowed.
I have 5 years to think?
No.
I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go with the action and the stuntmen.
Okay.
That was the best part of that movie. I thought they did such a good job. That was the only interesting, fun part of the movie was the stunts and the action.
I definitely have to say that my favorite part of Zardoz is the beginning sequence when the head comes in and says,
The gun is good. The gun is good. The penis is evil.
That was pretty funny.
That sequence lives rent-free in my mind, as the kids say.
Zardoz was not supposed to be funny, and we laughed.
We laughed
a lot.
so much in Zardoz.
It was ridiculous.
Worst part of Zardoz. Go.
All of it.
100%.
Story! That's fucking storyline. There was none. It didn't make any goddamn sense.
I just don't think you get it.
I don't get it, and I'm okay with saying that. I don't understand this
Please
movie.
don't explain it to me.
The back of the box explains more of this movie than the entire movie itself.
I remember at the end of this movie, you said, my brain feels like it's melting.
It literally does, because you are so confused and there's so much thrown at you with no context or explanation of anything.
I mean, I'm entertained watching Zardoz, but it's a little bit like being okay with getting shots. Like, I'm an adult, so I can do it.
But do I want to? No.
If you're on a date with somebody and you don't want to see them again,
show them Zardoz.
Show them Zardoz, and then be really into it. Be like totally seriously into it. And turn to them when it's over and say, so what did you think?
Unless they're the 1% and it backfires on you.
It might.
It might.
It might backfire.
So maybe,
if it backfires,
maybe don't try that. Yes.
If you go to somebody's house and they're like, you want to watch Zardoz?
This is my favorite movie.
This is my favorite movie. Run. Fucking run, because they have people in their basement.
I'm sorry to anybody who likes Zardoz. You are free to like what you like, and that is fine, but we feel differently, and that's okay. We don't all have to like the same thing. I remember telling you I was excited to watch it because you said it was so, like, weird and, like, made it sound like it was fun.
I will say, I have a really great story for the first time I saw Zardoz, and it was assisted. I was assisted watching it, and that's potentially why I maybe had a different memory of it than what it is.
Assistance, please!
I need assistance, I don't understand!
Maybe this will help.
The gun is good.
The gun is good!
The penis is evil. The penis shoots seeds and makes new life to poison the earth with the plague of men.